Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk really briefly about purpose in life because that is so crucial to having meaning in your life. Without purpose, without meaning, you don't really feel like you are on your life's mission. And when you don't feel like you're on your life's mission, it kind of just feels like you're a boat, ladies and gentlemen, with a sail that's almost not set. Or you're on a boat with a sail that's erect, but you aren't behind the wheel controlling where it takes you. Having control over your life is crucial, ladies and gentlemen, and I know that not everything is in our control, but there are very specific things in your life that you are indeed in control over. And if you do not have control over those specific things, it can make your life an absolute hell because in many ways, shapes, and forms, it doesn't help you mold yourself into a greater individual if you don't have control over those specific things. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics and the nitty-gritty of all these things in this video, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a brief little message. I think you could probably connect the dots based on my prior videos and realize what it is I'm hinting at in this video when I say certain things are in your control. There's a handful of things directly related to your health and well-being that are in your control, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are not taking the reins and controlling and steering that particular boat, you are going to be opening up yourself to a whole host of potential outcomes that are not in favor of that are not beneficial to you, folks. There's no way around this. This is an absolute truth. Now, you can, if you want, go through life and not try to pursue self-mastery and control over your health, your well-being, your character, you name it. There's plenty of people who will do that. If that's what makes you feel happy in life, then go ahead. I'm not trying to say that that's necessarily a bad thing, whatever floats your boat. But I will say, ladies and gentlemen, that I lived a large majority of my life in a confused state where I didn't try to exert control over my health, where I was just in I had gotten myself into a whole host of trouble for the most part. I know what it's like on both sides of the fence. When you start taking care of your health, when you start caring about yourself in a deeper way than the New World Order wants you to, your life you start to develop purpose via the reacquisition of lost power. What is lost power? Well, lost power is all the lack of health that you have. Now, this is a complicated building with many layers, with many pieces. Health is just part of what you can control, ladies and gentlemen. There are many things in your life that you can exert control over. Health, I put such a huge emphasis on it, and I try to inspire people to exert more control over their health, because it's in many ways, shapes, and forms the foundation. It's hard to build a house from the top down, correct? You've got to lay a foundation first. And in order for you to lay a foundation, you got to clear debris. You've got to find out where you want to put your house. Then you've got to clear debris, get everything level, set the foundation, you name it. And depending on how you build your home, ladies and gentlemen, where you put it. All these things are metaphors that I'm using that describe certain things that happen to you if you don't gingerly approach how to take care of your health. So myself personally, I don't want to live to 100. I want to live to 120 minimum. I want to do my best to push the limits, the envelope. I do not believe that there are limits on this experience. I do, however, know that our environment is highly toxic, and that in the same way that fish in an aquarium don't have a very good chance because if their environment, gets dirty, we're kind of the same way. And this environment that we live in, if we look at it like an aquarium or a giant fish bowl, ladies and gentlemen, and we are contained in a system of sorts, just like an aquarium. I'm not saying we live in an aquarium. I'm saying that we live in a system that appears to be contained. And within this container, there are exceptionally high degrees of pollution, toxicity, heavy metals, aerosols, you name it, especially in certain regions. So location is a huge part of your health, ladies and gentlemen. Your environment dictates your health. It is one of the first and foremost things that exerts the biggest influence over your health. You can take someone that was healthy, who lived in a high elevation, this, that, or the other, with tons of trees, pristine air, pristine water, pristine food. You could take them out of that environment and put them in like Los Angeles, the asshole of the United States, and watch what happens to their health. Their mental clarity is going to skyrocket in a downward fashion. They're probably going to get a little neurotic. They're not going to feel stable, you name it. And this is largely due to the inundation of electromagnetic fields, you name it. There's a lot of factors about health that are dictated by your environment. So addressing your environment and doing the best with what you've got is step one. When there's a will, there's a way. And when you set in motion towards creating a healthier life, if you actually put in the effort, ladies and gentlemen, opportunities will open up for you along the journey that allow you to escape suboptimal situations and create better ones. Some people have contacted me bitching about their apartments because I talk down on apartments, and them, almost getting upset with me because I'm saying that apartments are incredibly toxic. Would you rather be warned so that you can do something about it, or would you rather live in the dark and just pretend that everything's okay? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in a house and I see it burning down, I'm going to tell you about it. If we're in the house together and you're cooking a meal and you leave the kitchen to go to the bathroom and I see something in the kitchen lighting on fire, I am going to put it out or warn you. Well, you know what? I think you catch my drift. I'm not going to let that I'm not going to be quiet about the house burning down just because you don't want to know about it. What the hell is that? We've got to develop thicker skin here in this matrix, ladies and gentlemen. It's crucial. But just because I say apartments are incredibly toxic, that's not me trying to scare you. It's me warning you so that you can do something about it. And although it may seem that you're, watching this guy in front of me leave his little child while wow. It's besides the point. This guy's walking with his little girl, and he's letting her walk alone, and he's like 30 feet in front of her. Tiny little girl. Ridiculous. People are so ridiculous. But where was I going with that, ladies and gentlemen? This channel, to a large extent, is a warning signal. I've always said that. This is an alarm signal. This channel. Alarms are obnoxious. They're loud. They're designed to get your attention. They're repetitive. Why do you think I've always said that repetition of a message constitutes mental programming? It's because they're hearing similar things often. It has a tendency to etch into your mind. The same system that the New World Order works, but I'm using it in reverse to try to, wake you up a little bit. Environment, to a large extent, dictates your health. It's the biggest, ladies and gentlemen. It's the biggest effector on your health. That's why I've always said, your house is a New World Order kill pod. It has the potential to be turned into a regeneration pod, however. But you've got to mitigate the electromagnetic fields, which we're going to get into in future videos. I'm going to show you guys cheap ways to do this. It's not going to create an entire healing, or it's not going to fix things completely, but it's going to make things much better. It's going to attenuate those electromagnetic fields. Attenuation is step number one, ladies and gentlemen. You are not going to be in a situation, most likely, where you're going to be able to fix all of the loose ends, metaphorically speaking. You're probably not going to be in a situation, if you're watching this video, where you have the ability to just reach a perfect state with your environment. That's not what I'm trying to preach. I'm trying to preach the importance of attenuation, making things better, making things more efficient, mitigation of toxicity, lessening the load, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, think about it this way. Think about if your phone had some virus on it where it caused your phone to burn through its battery 60% quicker than it normally does. Now imagine if you found a system or a method until you were able to get the phone fixed where you could lessen the battery exhaustion through some simple tweaks by 40%. So now it only burns 20% slower. Did I get my math right? It's been a long day. I went on a 3.5 hour walk, ladies and gentlemen. I did a ton of studying. I think I said 60%, the battery burning through its energy reserve 60% quicker than normal. I might have said a different number, excuse me. It's been a long day. But if it was burning at 60% quicker than normal, and you found a way to mitigate that and lessen the exhaustion factor by 40%, through simple tweaks, I think you catch my drift, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me, in the word soup. Lessening the effect of things, the attenuation of electromagnetic fields. And I'm all for trying whatever we can do. You know, somebody recently said, you got any studies on the shungite attenuating electromagnetic fields? We live in a world where people are so programmed where they think that anecdotes have no merit. And I understand that we shouldn't always go on anecdotes, ladies and gentlemen, and that studies, etc., to some extent or to a large extent, depending on the quality of the studies and who funded them, they have merit. But a lot of the studies on health are being done on rats and mice and animals. We are not rats. We are not mice, ladies and gentlemen. Anecdotes have helped me a lot more than studies. I can literally dig up a study to justify pretty much anything, ladies and gentlemen. And I've literally seen and worked with so many clients and people who have reached out to me who took the system's advice and followed the quote-unquote most studied diet, the healthiest diet by the system standards, and it's what caused their health problem. And then on the other hand, I work with these people and throw in some stuff that doesn't have as many scientific studies to back it up, but it sure has a hell of a lot of people adopting those principles and getting results in the physical world, just not on paper, not just rats getting the benefits. And I've seen those people reverse their issues 10,000-fold. That is a beautiful thing. I am not going to recommend that you do things that work on paper that don't work in the mundane world, that don't work in your life, ladies and gentlemen. That's ridiculous. So, no, I don't have a bunch of studies on shungite. I have a large collection of anecdotal evidence, not only on myself, but multiple people. And I do actually have a pretty decent amount of research on the effect, or on the beneficial effects of shungite. It's just in Russian. It has to be translated. So, just putting pieces of shungite on all of your electronics can have it's had a huge effect on me. It's had a huge effect on many other people. Gridding your home with shungite, ladies and gentlemen. Creating a barrier of sorts. I mean, just doing things, little things to kickstart, doing something with what you've got. Being creative, regardless of whether or not there's a study to prove it. I mean, goddamn, go make a grid around your home with protective stones. Even if that doesn't do anything scientifically provable, at least you went out and did something. At least you did something creative to try to build your health up and to shield yourself here in the underworld. And more often than not, the subconscious ramifications of you going out there and being creative and using your heart energy, your toroidal field, your creativity to try to protect yourself, that type of movement of your energy field, by you doing that, creates an effect subconsciously. So something that doesn't have studies, or that might not even actually do anything, might actually end up doing something because of the ramifications of your actions subconsciously. That's a whole different rant for a different video, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of tapping into the power of the placebo effect. I don't like calling it the power of the placebo, however, because when you say placebo, people automatically think, oh, it's the imagination, it's not real, this, that, and the other. I like to call the placebo the power of the mind. The mind has massive amounts of power, ladies and gentlemen. Placebo is kind of a toxic word, in my opinion. The power of the mind. It's called the power of belief. When you believe something with every fiber of your being, it motivates the subconscious to get behind that belief and create it. I've been telling you guys this for years. This is how the magic works. Magic, the art of sustained, controlled thinking to produce physical results in the mundane world. Magic is subconscious. Magic is literally the art of the placebo, as people like to call it. It's you learning that your mind can literally create anything if the right parameters are met and sustained. However, our mind control is so extensive that even the people who think that they're the most free of the control and they have the most power over the law of attraction, you haven't even begun to scrape the tip of the iceberg. We were designed to be creators made in the image of the creator, ladies and gentlemen. We were designed to be able to design universes. We are on that type of level of divinity. But we're down here in a very strange suboptimal state. We're like a god that has fallen asleep. And we've been in hibernation. I'm going to wrap this one up, you guys. I love you all. Mitigation of your environment is crucial. Remember that. Peace be with you.